Why do you understand English, but can't answer? Maybe this situation feels very familiar. Someone asks you a question in English. You hear it clearly. You understand every word, but you don't answer. There is a pause, an uncomfortable pause, and in that moment, your mind becomes noisy. You know the meaning, you know the words, but you don't know how to respond. So you stay silent. And when the moment is gone, you feel frustrated. You think, I understood everything, so why couldn't I answer? If this has happened to you, listen carefully. Nothing is wrong with you. This problem is extremely common. Many English learners experience this every day. And there is a very clear reason for it. Understanding English and answering in English are two different skills. They look similar, but they work very differently. When you listen, you receive information. You don't need to create anything. Your brain only recognizes sounds, words, meaning. But when you answer, your brain must create language. You must choose words. You must build a sentence. You must speak. This requires much more effort. And your brain does not like effort. Your brain wants safety. It wants comfort. It wants to avoid mistakes. So when you try to answer, your brain slows you down. It says, wait, think, be careful, and in that moment, you freeze. Another important reason is how you try to answer. Most learners try to answer perfectly. You don't want to say something simple. You want to say something correct. Something smart. Something complete. You want your English to sound good. So instead of answering, you start building a long sentence inside your head. You think about grammar. You think about vocabulary. You think about pronunciation. You think about how you sound. And while you are thinking, the conversation continues. The other person waits for a moment, and then moves on. And again. You stay silent. This is not because you don't know English. It is because you are trying to do too much. In real conversations, answers are usually very simple. Native speakers do not think about perfect sentences. They respond automatically, often with very short phrases. Sometimes with only one word. But many learners believe that short answers are wrong. They think short answers sound lazy or stupid. But that is not true. Short answers are natural. Think about this simple question. How are you? Most native speakers do not answer with a long explanation. They say, I'm fine. I'm good, not bad, and the conversation continues. But learners often feel pressure to explain everything. So they hesitate. Another big reason you can't answer easily is fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding strange. Fear of being judged. You want to avoid embarrassment. So you wait. You wait for the perfect answer. But perfect answers do not exist in real life. Conversations are fast. They are messy. They are imperfect. And that is normal. The more you wait, the more pressure you feel. And the harder it becomes to speak. This creates a cycle. You don't answer because you feel nervous. And you feel nervous because you don't answer. The cycle repeats. Another problem is translation. Many learners try to translate before answering. You hear the question. You translate it into your native language. You think about the answer. Then you translate it back into English. This process is very slow. By the time you finish translating, the moment is already gone. The conversation has moved on. And you feel left behind. To answer naturally, you must reduce translation. And this feels uncomfortable at first. Because translation feels safe. It gives you control. But real communication is not controlled. It is automatic. At first, automatic responses feel messy. You speak slowly. You repeat words. You make mistakes. And that is okay. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is flow. You don't need advanced grammar to answer questions. You don't need complex vocabulary. You need simple responses. Short phrases that come easily. Phrases like, yes, I think so. I'm not sure. Maybe. It depends. Can you repeat that? These phrases are extremely powerful. They help you stay in the conversation. They reduce pressure. They give your brain time to relax. And once you relax, words come more naturally. Another important thing is how you practice. Most learners practice silently. They listen. They read. They think. But they don't practice responding. You need to practice answering questions. Out loud, even alone. Ask yourself simple questions and answer them immediately. Not perfectly. Immediately. This trains your brain to respond instead of analyze. Over time, your brain learns a new habit. It stops freezing. It stops overthinking. You still make mistakes, but you answer. And that is progress. Real progress. One day, you will notice something. You will hear a question and answer without thinking. Not perfectly, but naturally. And you will feel calm. That calm feeling is confidence. Confidence does not come first. Confidence comes after action, after repetition, after many simple answers. Remember this. If you understand English, you already have the foundation. Now you just need to allow yourself to speak. Slowly, simply, without pressure. This is how real communication begins. This is how confidence grows. And this is how you move forward. If you want to improve your English without stress, subscribe to this channel and keep listening to slow English stories.